Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. I see we've made it through to another day. The following is from an email sent May 29th, 2006 at 4:13 in the morning, titled Forgiveness. There was a preacher giving a sermon one day when he asked his congregation, "Let me see a show of hands of those in this parish who are going to heaven." Everyone raised their hands except for a young man in the middle row. The preacher then said, "Young man, how come I didn't see your hand?" To which the young man replied, "Sir, I'm not from this congregation." We saw that coming. In another story, a preacher in his Sunday sermon used "forgive your enemies" as his subject. After a long sermon, he asked how many were willing to forgive their enemies. About half held up their hands. Not satisfied, he harangued for another 20 minutes and repeated his question. This time he received a response of 80%. Still unsatisfied, he lectured for 15 minutes and repeated his question. With thoughts of Sunday dinner, all responded except one old gentleman in the rear. "Mr. Jones, are you not willing to forgive your enemies?" "I don't have any." "Mr. Jones, that is very unusual. How old are you?" 86. "Mr. Jones, please come down in front and tell the congregation how a man can live to be 86 and not have any enemies in the world." The old man teetered down the aisle and slowly turned around and said, "It's easy. I outlived them." That brings to mind another story of a comedian from the early 1900s, around 1930s, I think is what I'm thinking of. His name was W.C. Fields. And by those standards, if you ever watched the videos on YouTube of W.C. Fields, his stuff was pretty raunchy for the 1930s. I guess it was, because it seemed a little rough. He was that type of comedian, but he was very funny. And when he was diagnosed with a terminal illness, he was occasionally seen reading from a Bible. And one day somebody saw him reading the Bible and said to him, "Mr. Fields, I didn't know you as a religious man." And he replied, "Just looking for loopholes, my friend. Just looking for loopholes." So at least he knew where to go to look for a loophole. May not have been the loophole he was hoping for by remaining in this life, in this body, but the loophole of eternal life is his and ours. God bless everyone. Have a peaceful Sunday, and with God's blessing, I will see you tomorrow.